Good day, everybody. Welcome to the October 26th regular council meeting of the City of Dauphin. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, known as First Nations territory, homeland of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, and Métis Nation. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that the regular council meeting be amended as follows. Addition 9F, federal safe restart funding. Any questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by, Councillor Lachlan. Be it resolved that council accepts the regular agenda as amended. All in favor? Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Deputy Mayor Rio. Be it resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the following minutes. Regular council meeting of October 13th, 2020. Any questions? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. Yeah, we're all here. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that council now adjourns to hear the public hearing as scheduled. Council will now commence to hear representations from the applicants and other persons who wish to make representation for these scheduled public hearings. Anyone who has not registered but wishes to make a presentation for this public hearing, please state your name so we can add it to our registration list. And for this public hearing, I have John Uri, and he's registered and he's on Zoom or
I'm here.
You're on telephone?
I'm on telephone. I'm up in the paw.
Oh, okay, John. We'll get to you right away.
No worries.
We will now proceed with the public hearing for rezoning application 1205-2340 234200/RS-20-01/02 for owners and applicant John and Tracy Uri for the rezoning of lots 11, 12, and 13, block 10, plan 420, DLTO 620, Buchanan Avenue West for residential family, single family to residential multifamily to allow for the construction of two 1,800 square foot threeplex dwelling units on a single zoning site to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw. Would the applicant like to speak in favor of the application?
Yes.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're just trying to build two more triplexes, very similar to the ones on Main Street, 815 Main, that we had built there. And yeah, just for more for singles, that kind of thing. Yeah, slab on grade. Yeah, very similar to what we did before. So I don't have any other questions really. State, unless you have some questions for me.
Does council have any questions of the applicant for clarification purposes only? Anybody have questions? No, seeing none. I don't think there's anybody else present in support. No objectors.
Perfect.
Anything to add, John?
No, I'm just trying to beautify Dauphin, and I think it's a real nice corner to do it on, and kind of very similar to that a few of the other builds I did in that same area. Yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic. So there's a real shortage, I'll tell you. A lot of people looking for places like that right now. So
Okay,
I'm just trying to keep up with demand. So
very good.
awesome.
Seeing none, the representation for this public hearing are now completed.
Awesome.
Thank you, John. We're
Thank
going
you
to
so much.
move on. Jim, are you on the line?
I'm free to go then.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mayor and Council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Cruz here.
Okay, Jim, we're getting to your rezoning application.
John Yuri.
Is now exiting.
We will now proceed with the public hearing for rezoning application 12-08-374-300/RZ 2001/03 for owner applicant Cruz Farms, care of Jim Cruz, for the rezoning of Lot 1 Plan 26818 DLTO 101 Whitmore Avenue East from Agricultural Urban Reserve to residential single family, which is required as a condition of subdivision application for the purpose of separating two existing dwellings from a larger agriculture use property to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning application. Would the applicant like to speak in favor of this application? Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, we've just. My mother used to live in the house, and I've decided that I'm not a person that can rent things out, and we've decided to sell it as a family.
Okay. Anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. No.
Does council have any questions of the applicant for clarification purposes only? Any questions of council? Seeing none and nobody here, no objections. The representation for this public hearing are now completed.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Jim. I am assuming council is okay with this. Well, we just, I'll read your moved by Councilor Loughlin, seconded by Deputy Mayor Riel. Be it resolved that the public hearing for rezoning application 12-08-374-300 RZ 2001/03 for owner applicant Jim Cruz Farms Limited, care of Jim Cruz, for the rezoning of Lot 1 Plan 26818 DLTO 101 Whitmore Avenue East from Agricultural Urban Reserve to residential single family, which is required as a condition of a subdivision application for the purpose of separating two existing dwellings from a larger agriculture use to property to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw. Be now concluded. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Council approved. What? Oh. Never. Okay, Jim. There's another
Okay,
apparently.
Yep.
Moved by Councillor Bellmer, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that the public hearing for variance application 1208 374 300/VO 200107 for owner and applicant Cruz Farms, care of Jim Cruz, for Lot 2, Plan 26818, DLTO 105, Whitmore Avenue East, to vary the minimum lot width in the agricultural urban reserve zone from 183 meters, 600 feet, 600.4 feet to 111.83 meters, 366 feet, 366.91 feet, and the minimum lot area from 80,000 square meters, 861,112.8 square feet to 41,512 square meters to 446,831.45 square feet, which is required as a condition of subdivision application for the purpose of separating two existing dwellings from an agricultural use property to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw, be now concluded. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah, I did. Oh. 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 I screwed up, Jim.
Okay.
Going. There's only one. Oh, okay. We did it backwards anyway. Any questions of council on the motion I just read? Okay, so that's approved, right? No questions. Okay. With Councilor Eilers. Whereas council at their regular meeting, February 24th, 2020, approved a proposal to subdivide Lot 1, Plan 26868, DLTO 101, Whitmore Avenue East, and whereas council at their regular meeting of June 22nd, 2020, approved a revised proposal to subdivide this property reflecting reduced site size, and whereas a condition of this subdivision approval was to obtain a zoning bylaw amendment to rezone the new Lot 1 from agricultural urban reserve to residential single family to permit the intended residential single family use and to comply with City of Dauphin zoning bylaw 04 2015, and whereas due notice was given with respect to zoning application 1208 374 300/RZ 2001/03, and whereas no objections were received to the said application, be it resolved that the rezoning application 1208 3743 300/RZ 2001/03 for owner applicant Cruz Farms Limited, care of Jim Cruz, for the rezoning of Lot 1, Plan 26818, DLTO 101, Whitmore Avenue East, from agricultural urban reserve to residential single family, which is required as a condition of subdivision application for the purpose of separating two existing dwellings from a larger agricultural use property to comply with the City of Dauphin bylaw, be approved. Any questions? I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. So now can he sell the land? Holy God. Another one? Moved by Councillor Lachlan. Whereas council at their regular February meeting of February 24th, 2020 approved a proposal to subdivide Lot 1 Plan 26868 DLTO 101 Whitmore Avenue East. And whereas council at their regular meeting of June 22nd, 2020 approved a revised proposal to subdivide this property reflecting a reduced site size. And whereas a condition of this subdivision approval was to obtain a variance orders for the residual Lot 2 105 Whitmore Avenue East to allow a reduced site width and a reduced site area to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw 04 2015, and whereas due notice was given with respect to various variance application 1208 374 300/VO 200107, and whereas no objections were received to this application, be it resolved that variance application 1208 374 300/VO 2001/07 for owner and applicant Cruz Farms, care of Jim Cruz, for a lot to plan 26818 DLTO 105 Whitmore Avenue East to vary the minimum lot width in an agriculture urban reserve from 181 meters, 600.4 feet to 111.83 meters, that's 366.91 feet. The minimum lot area of the agricultural urban reserve zone from 80,000 square meters, that's 861,112.8 square feet, to 41,512 square meters, 831.45 square feet, which is required as a condition of the previously approved subdivision application for the purpose of separating two existing dwellings from large agricultural use property to comply with the City of Dauphin zoning bylaw be approved. Any questions? Call the question. All in favor? Motion carried. Now can you sell the land? Just about.
Just about.
Mr. Cruz, we still have the bylaw that we need to read to rezone the lot that you subdivided out. That's going to happen in a few minutes, or maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes actually. But that is up on this agenda as well.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for your patience, Jim. And
Thank you.
it'll be done.
Okay, I won't stay on the line then. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Council.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Well, on 610 Buchanan will
Jim Cruz.
has left the
Is
meeting.
now exiting.
We'll discuss the other one a little more carefully. Okay. I don't have to do anything there. Do it. Moved by Deputy Mayor Riel, seconded by Councillor Stakila, be it resolved that all items listed under item 5 consent agenda be approved as follows and form part of these minutes. Outstanding Accounts receivable added to taxes. Roll 01 823 $290.58. 35 Alexandria Avenue, fine for untidy property and property cleanup costs, as recommended by the Director of Finance and the Tax Clerk. Filing items, AMM, Parkland Board Directors Update, October 2020, News Bulletin, October 19th, Member Advisory Annual Convention Preparation Zoom call, that's on November 2nd at 11 o'clock. Disaster Financial Assistance Program online portal, invitation, proposed regulating changes regarding third-party building and fire inspections, Bill 48 template, public communications services, participation agreement, additional COVID-19 links, FCM Connect, October 9th, 14th, and 20th. Manitoba media releases, municipal relations, safe restart agreement, funding for municipalities. We'll be talking about that one a little later in the agenda. Health, seniors, and active living, COVID-19 testing at rural and northern Manitoba sites, justice and municipal relations, municipal bylaw officers authorized to issue tickets for breaches of public health emergency orders, COVID-19 bulletins, municipal relations, restart funding for municipalities, pandemic response to COVID-19 in northern Manitoba, municipal governance and COVID-19 updated frequently asked questions. Parks Canada Roundtable, October 19th to the 30th, 2020. Red River College news release, COVID-19 training opportunities to increase testing capacity across Manitoba. Mountain View School News Digest, October 19th. First Nations Treaty 2 newsletter, October 9th, as recommended by the Mayor and City Manager. Any questions? Councillor Eilers.
I read that about the training of for COVID testing. I thought that was very late. I thought that should have been done a lot sooner than it was. So that's just a comment, unfortunately, in delay. And the other thing is that it's only in Winnipeg, which really limits people in the rural areas.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved, the Council accepts this information. The following corporate report for the October 26, 2020 regular council meeting and that of the City Manager. Go ahead, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's been a couple of weeks since our last meeting, and did not have a whole bunch of meetings in the last 2 weeks, but I think I also was not physically in the building for about 3 of those last 10 days. So still a quite busy 2 weeks. In terms of updates, COVID-19 update, Prairie Mountain Health has moved their COVID-19 testing site to 301 Main Street North, or what we might know as the Petoskey building, and that was as of October 16th. And according to a media bulletin from the province today, which would have been October 23rd, so that was last Friday, people can make appointments to get their COVID-19 tests done in Dauphin, as well as certain spots in Winnipeg, Swan River, Brandon, Winkler, Steinbach, Portage, Flin Flon, Napaw, and Thompson. The number for that, 1-855-268-4318. And the thought process is that as the time gets, as the season gets colder, it's a lot more difficult for people to stand outside and wait. So if there's at least a time frame that they could be there, then that would be more comfortable for people to wait for their testing. Also, with Halloween approaching, there's a lot of talk about that holiday and how it can safely be celebrated. Through my municipal contacts, there's been some interesting discussion about, you know, are your councils counseling Halloween or not? And for the most part, I think the answer is no, and that council does not have authority to cancel Halloween per se. However, there is published guidance from the province on their website regarding trick or treating and Halloween activities. It does talk about staying home if you are unwell, going home immediately if you start to feel unwell while you're out and about. Keep your distance and use hand sanitizer frequently. And we do want everyone to have a fun but a safe Halloween this coming weekend. So last week would have been Thursday, municipalities received word from municipal relations regarding how the province will be assisting the economic recovery in light of, or assisting municipalities in light of the economic impacts of COVID-19. And specifically, the provincial government has reached an agreement with the federal government under the federal government Safe Restart Agreement. And $72.6 million of federal money is allocated through the province to municipalities based on a per capita basis. And 33 million is allocated to help municipalities that have transit systems, which is not Dauphin. So from that piece of correspondence, Dauphin received or will receive $501,050.11 as part of the program. The city's plan at this time, I believe, is to put that money into the general operating budget as it is intended for operations, record it as a surplus in 2020, and then transfer it to the general reserve for future use. We will be talking about that in our new business section, if anybody has comments on that. Also, municipalities were informed last week that municipal bylaw officers will be authorized to issue tickets for breaches to public health emergency orders. The first thing I did was to contact a municipal services order to ask about the officer to ask about the mechanism to have bylaw officers perform this task. Apparently they learned of this authority just like all municipalities did when they read the news announcement from the provincial government. So they said they would get back to me. But I think that they are still working on the mechanism for that. Over the weekend, looking through a few news articles, it is I think something that we would also agree with. Mayor Brian Bowman from the city of Winnipeg is asking the province, what kind of help do you want? What specifically do you need from municipal enforcement officers? It would be fine to ask for help in specific situations with the right guidance and the right tools. However, but just to give a bylaw officer the authority to issue tickets under the health order for violations would be really difficult because people who are not trained in it must read that health order, interpret it, and then go about their community and issue tickets or warnings or whatnot. So we are waiting for more input or more direction from the province on that. And then in terms of city facilities for COVID-related operations, we remain at status quo at this time. Next topic to talk about is the EV3 charger, the electric vehicle level 3 charger. The ICT manager and I have been working on that construction with the contractor, and at the last meeting we awarded the project to John's Electric. We will be considering an amendment to the funding agreement from Natural Resources Canada a little bit later on in this meeting, and that's a reduction of funding from 2 chargers down to 1. John's Electric has the charging unit ordered, has started construction on the concrete pad for the charger, which you can see just outside here. That's all surrounded by the yellow tape. And we will be working, and is working on the trenching for the electrical connections. The project completion date is still before December 31st, 2020. The city did have a good meeting on October 22nd with Pine Creek First Nation regarding their addition to reserve project. We also invited Manitoba Infrastructure to the meeting to talk a little bit about plans for Main Street South. This is the first meeting that we've had since, I believe, about the middle of February. So it was nice to sit in a room at a distance and start those discussions or rekindle those discussions. In terms of the city's involvement, we did have a lot of discussion about the Municipal Development and Services Agreement, and we'll be proceeding with those discussions through the winter of 2020 and 2021. In terms of property issues, in the absence of a full-time bylaw officer at this time and the deputy city manager, I did deal with 12 property-related issues in the last 2 weeks, ranging anything from warnings to do with noise complaints and untidy properties right up to a demolition order. So that did take some time. But that does bring me to the next topic of our new bylaw enforcement officer. I would like to welcome Jonathan Latane to the city of Dauphin as our bylaw enforcement officer, and his first day with the city will be November 5th. And I don't believe that he'll be issuing any public health order tickets on day one, but we hope to get that get guidance for him at that time. And that concludes my report. Oh, you know what? Actually, I do have one more thing. This was something that came through late on Friday. It was actually came to me just after 6. And so it was some information from our Dauphin Vet Clinic. It does indicate that they're experiencing an outbreak of feline panleukopenia. That's a virus among cats and kittens, and that are coming into the pound. They have received a few inquiries from people about their cats and kittens at home that seem to have the same symptoms. The virus can cause severe vomiting and diarrhea and can cause death very quickly, even within 12 hours, and it is very contagious. It is similar to the virus like parvovirus in dogs. So it is serious, and they do not want to infect any of the other cats that are in the clinic. So they are taking extra precautions, bleaching everything that comes in with cats, and has advised the animal control officer to do extra cleaning for kennels and traps. For any of the work that he does. They've also implemented a policy to vaccinate all cats that come into the pound for this virus, and they are hoping to get a handle on that. So that does lend itself to a good discussion of a reason why people should register their animals with the city of Dauphin. If there is an outbreak of this kind, we could easily contact everybody who has their pets licensed and could give them a heads up of what this virus is all about and make sure that they have the proper vaccinations or are taking the proper steps. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Any questions of the city manager, Councillor Bellemare?
Thank you. It's not a question, maybe it's more a comment. I licensed my cat for the first time, and so I got the call from Todd on Friday, Todd Tarrant, our animal control officer, and I really appreciated being on that list. So certainly I would encourage people to license their animals. Now, can you tell us how much the license is? And okay, I think I paid like $20, and I need to check if that's for a couple of years.
It is for 1 year, and I do believe that it is $20 per cat.
Okay, thank you. And I checked with the vet, and it's the distemper shot that is the one that helps animals to not catch the disease. So, you know, just if people are wondering what that long name is, distemper is what we're looking at here. So it's not, you know, large numbers of cases, it's little, and they're hoping that it will stay as a small outbreak. So hopefully people will follow up on this. Thank you.
Any other questions of city manager? Seeing none, all the questions, all in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Riel, seconded by Councillor Stakilo. Be it resolved that the finance accounts have been examined by council and be hereby authorized and approved. Checks 27223 to 27268. There's 46 checks. $179,595.80. There's no voided checks, no electronic payments. Of the bigger amounts, Central Square Software, Neptune upgrading. That's water meters, 22,858.09. J&M Industry for the diversion center, 27,644.40, and September receiver general deductions of 33,153.52. Any questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Stikilo. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following engineering department staff reports for the October 26, 2020 regular council meeting and that of the building inspector. So any questions of it? Just a couple additions. John Urey for the 27 Jackson and 121 2nd Avenue Northeast for single family dwellings. And we're in pretty good shape in terms of building statistics. One thing that sort of caught me was the amount of home renovations. There's 19 home renovations to the end of September for 706,590 as compared to last year of nine renovations for 330,165. So I guess people aren't going anyplace and spending money on their houses during COVID. Any questions? I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eiler, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the minutes and reports of the following committee: Fort Dauphin Museum, the regular board meeting of September 2nd, 2020, managers report October 7th, 2020, and the financial information. Any questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Eilers, whereas the regular council meeting of August 17th, 2020, Council passed a resolution 2020-420 outlining some of the concerns with their Manitoba municipal relations, putting in place Bill 48, which involves amendments to the Planning Act and the City of Winnipeg Charter Act, specifically with respect to the province creating planning regions without municipal input into their participation, and the planning regions operations being autonomous of or so far removed from their member councils. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information a member advisory from AMM dated October 13th, 2020 regarding an update to the status of Bill 48, amendment of the Planning Act and the City of Winnipeg Charter, as indicated in the provincial 2020 speech from the throne, in that AMM remains concerned that the province's plan to continue streamlining planning and approval processes for future development in Manitoba and strongly encourages all AMM members to restate their municipal objections to this proposed new planning legislation, originally introduced as Bill 48 at the 42nd session of the Manitoba Legislature, through writing a letter to their respective MLAs Further be it resolved that council accepts this information, a memorandum dated October 21st, 2020, from the Director of Public Works and Operations indicating that the province is proceeding with this legislation despite concerns raised by municipalities and the AMM, and recommending that council write a letter to Dauphin MLA Brad Michaleski restating our concerns. And further be it resolved that council agrees with the recommendation from the Director of Public Works and Operations and will express their concern regarding the proposed changes to the legislation through lobbying the MLA. Any questions? Call the question.
Just a question. The letter is going to our MLA, and then I imagine it's going to be carbon copied to, lots of others.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Stakila, whereas the regular council meeting of January 13th, 2020, council approved the signing of an agreement with Natural Resources Canada for 50% of the funding costs up to $50,000 per charger in support of the city's EV3 rapid charger project. I always say it UV. I made sure I got EV in there. And whereas the city was originally funded for 2 EV chargers, but elected to reduce the scope of the project to 1 due to the inability to find a suitable location for a second charger, be it resolved that council accepts this information. A memorandum dated October 22nd from the Information Communication Technology Manager requesting approval for an amendment to the original contribution agreement with Natural Resources Canada to formalize the reduction in project scope. Further be it resolved that council agrees with the ICT manager's recommendations and authorizes the city manager to sign and seal the agreement amendment on behalf of the city of Dauphin. Any questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Deputy Mayor Riel. Whereas due to COVID-19 restrictions, many organizations are not able to fundraise in the usual manner. Be it resolved that council accepts this information, a letter received October 6, 2020 from Rotarian Stephen Sobring on behalf of the Rotary Club of Dauphin, requesting permission to use CN Park from November 2020 to January 2021, inclusive for their Gifts of Light project, which is a fundraiser whereby participants purchase lighted Christmas trees and lawn signs to memorialize lost loved ones, and those trees are placed in CN Park for all to enjoy the holiday season. Further be it resolved that council accepts this information memorandum dated October 22nd, 2020 from the marketing director outlining the Gifts of Light project, indicating she has reviewed the requirements with Mr. Sobring and recommending council approve this fundraiser. Further be it resolved that council agrees with the recommendation of the marketing director as per provisions of policy 3.1, approve the Rotary projects Dauphin's Gift of Light fundraiser project for the 2021 season, including the provision of power for the project. Any questions, council? I'll call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Riel, seconded by Councillor Stakila, whereas the Public Safety Communications Service is a 700 megahertz radio system installed in Manitoba that allows emergency service agencies to speak with the provincial E991 Communication Center and other participating emergency service organization, which is an upgrade to the Fleet 800 megahertz that the fire department currently uses. Be it resolved, the council accepts this information, a member advisory dated October 8th, 2020 from the AMM indicating that the Public Safety Communications Service is ready for use by municipalities and other organizations. Further, be it resolved, the council accepts this information, the Manitoba Public Safety Communications Service offer pursuant to the Government of Manitoba and Bell Mobility PSCS Services Agreement for use by the Dauphin Fire Department, which is Category 1 public safety entity as per agreement and therefore is qualified user of the PSCS. And further, be it resolved that council accepts this information, a memorandum dated October 22nd, 2020 from the Dauphin Fire Department Fire Chief indicating his support for the PSCS and recommending that council accepts the Public Safety Communications service offer. And further, be it resolved that council agrees with the fire chief's recommendation and authorizes the city manager to sign and seal the service officer on behalf of the city of Dauphin. Any questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved, the council accepts this information, correspondence from dated September 12th from Victor Beckman, Chair of the Winter Weather Testing Committee of the Thompson Chamber of Commerce, requesting a letter of support from the City of Dauphin for their Palms to Polar Bears North American Electric Vehicle Rally spanning from Galveston, Texas to Churchill in August 2021. Further, be it resolved, the council accepts this information, a memorandum from the Economic Development Manager underscoring the importance of developing electrical vehicle charging instructions, particularly in rural Manitoba, to ensure equal opportunity for all Manitobans to benefit from the advantage of owning an electric vehicle. And further, be it resolved, the council supports efforts to stimulate EV transportation and tourism in rural northern Manitoba to reduce greenhouse emissions, thereby supporting a cleaner environment. Further, be it resolved that council supports the Thompson Chamber of Commerce in their plan to host the first major North American EV rally, hoping this rally will capture the world's attention in a way that offers long-term benefits to our environment and to our province. And further, be it resolved that council provides a letter of support to the Thompson Chamber of Commerce for the EV rally and lobbies the provincial and federal governments to provide financial support and incentives to develop an EV charging station infrastructure throughout the province of Manitoba. This is a pipe dream. Go ahead, Councillor Ayers.
Okay, I travel to Thompson on a regular basis, much more regular than I want, but it's 680 kilometers just to the outskirts, and for me to get to where I'm staying, it's usually about 685. Sometimes a little more if I make a stop in Grand Rapids. The mileage, I believe, from Winnipeg to Thompson is around 760. And so there's, for them coming to Dauphin and going on to the rally, they might save about 80 kilometers or add on, I should say, 80 kilometers, I should say. And so I don't know how worthwhile this is, but I don't have any problems in supporting it. It's just that realistically, I don't see how this would work to their advantage.
No, where the northern goes.
Yeah, oh, sorry.
City of Thompson, and she's this individual, Victor Beckman, is has a pipe dream, and that's all it is to further that. So we'll we'll see how far it goes. Any other questions? Call the questions. All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Councillor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Riel. Request the City of Dauphin posted a request for proposals for upgrades to the heating system at the public workshop in September 2020 to comply with the gas code compliance issues identified with Manitoba Hydro. And whereas city budgeted $100,000 for this upgrade, be it resolved the council accepts this information, a memorandum from dated October 23rd from the Director of Public Works and Operation advising that one proposal was received for the upgrade to the heating system of the city public works and recommending the sole bidder be awarded the project Train Canada for a quote of $95,000 plus applicable taxes. Further be it resolved the council accepts this information, the recommendation from the Director of Public Works that an additional $17,500 be approved for upgraded control systems for the existing equipment as part of the city's commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and ensuring optimal efficiency of the new system. These funds be included in the 2021 budget and expended in 2021. And further be it resolved that council agrees with the recommendation from the Director of Public Works and Operation and instructs administration to grant the requests for proposals to Train Canada for the upgrades to the city public works heating system. And further be it resolved the council authorizes the city manager to sign and seal the contract from Train Canada on behalf of the city of Dauphin. And further be resolved the council forward the request for additional $17,500 to upgrade control systems for the existing equipment to the 2021 budget. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. The work will start already, or? Sorry, do I have to start all over again? Be it resolved that council accepts this information correspondence dated October 14th, 2020 from Lori Hickaway, Administrator of the Intermountain Watershed District regarding the City of Dauphin appointees for the Vermilion River Subdistrict. And further be it resolved that council reappoints Councillor Patty Eilers and Jim Heska as the city's representatives from the Intermountain Watershed District Vermilion River Subdistrict for a one-year term starting December 1st, 2020. Go ahead, Councillor.
Normally these appointments are 2 years so that there's a continuation, but because there's a reorg right going now, an amalgamation, they're doing the 1 year to get everything in place. So that's the reason that there's 1 year versus 2 years.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Riel and seconded by Councillor Juba. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information correspondence dated October 22nd, 2020 from the Honorable Rochelle Squires, Minister of Municipal Relations, sharing with the City of Dauphin the details of the COVID-19 driven provincial Manitoba Restart Program and the federal Safe Restart funding as they apply to municipalities, and specifically that the City of Dauphin operating allocation of the federal Safe Restart funding is $501,050.11. Further, be it resolved that Council accepts as information a memorandum dated October 26, 2020 from the City of Dauphin, indicating that the city does not require any additional operating funding at this time, but that it should be safe for future use, as we do not know the long-term effects of COVID-19 on the local economy, and we do not know if there will be any corresponding government assistance if there are hardships. Further, be it resolved that Council agrees with the recommendation of the City Manager to place the federal Safe Restart funding in the General Operating Fund and record it as a surplus for 2020 and transfer it to the General Operating Reserve for future use. Any questions of this Deputy Mayor?
I just wanted to ask, there was one point on the letter there that it was earmarked for water and sewer. I think that was the second point. Just wanted clarification whether down the road this can be used, what this can be used for.
So there's actually two parts to the letter, and one was the one that we're talking about here is the federal part. So it was just flow through to municipalities, one for transit and one for operating. The Manitoba Restart talked about a $5 million stimulus as part of their contribution, which is not part of the federal money. So that's in addition to. So $230 million for contributions to the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program. So we've heard that the province has reviewed all of the applications to that ICIP program, and that they have forwarded those recommendations to the federal government. As part of that, there is a provincial component to the contribution and a federal component. So it sounds like this is the $230 million is the provincial component to those applications. So again, that's separate. And then it also said that there's an additional 50 for water and wastewater projects, and that was through the Manitoba Water Services Board. So I believe that we did get some of that because we are proceeding with the UV disinfection and some lift station upgrades and the orthophosphate work at our water treatment plant. And so I do believe that we did get at some of that money. So I had our director of finance take a look at just this letter, because again, this is all that we have information on, and it sounds like there's no strings attached to this $501,000 that we're getting. So it's potential that it could be used for projects like that down the road.
Okay, thank you. I was just confused.
That's right.
Do we have to reapply for all the things that we had? Like, that's the part I did not understand.
No, so it's my understanding that it's, we made our application to that ICIP program for the lagoon. That's still standing. We'd love to hear something back about it, but we don't know anything. And then we did not apply for this 501,000. It just came through as a flow through per capita. So every province got some COVID relief for municipalities, and that's how Manitoba chose to spend their money.
Geez, in Manitoba got something. Yeah. Yeah, this was Christmas present early, but we'll look at it carefully. We had we're 200,000 short on our tax collections, and you never know what's going to come up, and we'll keep it in. Certainly discuss it in 2021 budget deliberations as to should we move a little more, use a little bit for projects in our community, especially road and water and sewer, because we do want to have a reliable system and good roads in our community. Any other questions? All in favor? Motion carried. Remove is not approved. That one too. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Stickeye. No, maybe I'll put Councillor Lachlan. Be it resolved that bylaw 14/2020, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to amend zoning bylaw 04/2015, regulating the use and development of land at 101 Whitmore Avenue from agricultural to residential single family be now read a second time. I think we've gone through this. Boy, there's a lot of. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that bylaw 14/2020, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to amend zoning bylaw 04/2014, regulating the use and development of land 101 Whitmore Avenue East from agricultural to residential single family be now read a third time and be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager. Any questions? All in favor? Motion carried. All in favor? Okay, unanimous. All in favor. You guys can write the names. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Lachlan. Be it resolved that bylaw 15/2020, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to amend bylaw 02/2009 for the regulation and control of traffic and park in the City of Dauphin, addition to a loading zone and no parking zone, be now read a second time. And that was for someplace again.
That's for 5 McLeod Avenue East. It's La Plaza apartment building,
Okay.
a loading zone, and no parking on the west side of Ida Street.
Very good. Thank you very much. Any questions? Deputy Mayor.
Sorry, this might not be the right place to ask it, but are those people in the area notified? Like I see that we've added Ida on the west side of Ida as well as La Plaza. Are residents in that area, have they been notified, or they don't get a chance for input, or it's just we agree, or is there a public notice that needs to go out or no?
we will notify them when it changes, but there wasn't a like a public hearing type of thing. No.
Consistent with other no parking applications for people of on facilities like that.
The one I'm wondering about is Ida. Actually, that was a complaint that came to me about parking on the west side of Ida, that the fire truck couldn't get through there. But that is all that parkland crossing and all the apartments on one side and the apartments on the other. So I just wondered what our due diligence was in regards to notifying prior to or getting input.
It's a public safety issue, and then we have to make sure that there's or emergency vehicles have easy access through there.
Okay, thank you.
Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Stikilo. Be it resolved that bylaw 15, 2020 being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to amend bylaw 2002, 2009 for the regulation and control traffic and parking in the City of Dauphin, additional loading zone and no parking zone be now read a third time and signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager. Okay, all in favor? Everybody's in favor. Moved by, okay, let's go into councillor privileges. Can't remember where he started last time. There? Oh, okay. We'll start with councillor Stikilo then.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For myself, October 13th, regular council meeting. October 21st, there was a Dauphin neighborhood renewal meeting. At that meeting, it was good to see the new ED settling into her role, as well as the new board members getting acquainted with the work that the board does. Also present at the meeting was the new community liaison, Althea Gabosh. So we welcomed her as well. As the group moves forward with the new staff and some new board members, the current chair, Phil, thought that it might be good that the group takes a look at doing a strategic plan. So work is underway to coordinate that and take a look at what the board does and the way it should progress forward. So timing was good. October 19th, I was able to attend the hub grand opening. It was great to see firsthand at the building to take a look at that. It's a very inviting space with many different offerings for individuals, businesses, and organizations. They offer a host of programs and resources that will complement anyone or any business at whatever stage their business or project is at. So with that, congratulations to all those involved in the project, and that ends my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the 13th, I attended the regular council meeting via Zoom. On the 20th, the mayor and I attended a meeting with MP Dan Mazer at his office. Things that we discussed were rural connectivity, rural economic development, restorative justice, and a few other things. That was a very good meeting. On the 22nd, I met with Randy Daly, the Crisis Prevention Task Force chairperson, to discuss the United Church being taken over by Under One Roof. That's towards almost a done deal, and their requirements and their vision there. One thing of note was that they were looking at it as a potential space for people to stay in the cold, and they're allowed 7 people per building without a installing a fire prevention So they're not sure what will transpire there. They're continuing to serve at least 100 people every Monday. And I know the Dauphin Fire Department, in lieu of their Fireman's Ball this year, are asking people to buy support tickets, $20 per ticket. And that will go towards Under One Roof to feeding people. So if you're able to support that, please do so. On the 22nd, I attended City Hall and had a meeting here with our mayor. The 24th, I attended a workshop at Aspen Lodge with Wade Hoole of Brightside Consulting, and also he's a teacher at the DRCSS on Indigenous awareness. We attended that with 15 others and from our municipal regional partners. Very well received, excellent presentation. On the 24th, attended the Kings game. Excellent effort by our Kings team. We won. Very, very good game. I just want to thank our local RCMP for all of the work that they've been doing this past while. Last week, I believe we had 2 robberies and a manslaughter charge on early Sunday morning. They've been extremely busy and very impressed with all that they've been doing. So thank you to them for that. And I also just quickly want to thank CKDM for their updates on Facebook. I found out about our bylaw enforcement officer from CKDM. And so I just want to thank them for their very quick to update their website and get information out to our community. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me, October 13th, I attended the regular council meeting here at City Hall. On the 14th of October, I attended the grand opening of the Dauphin Best Western Hotel. Thank you to the manager and staff for the wonderful tour. Our group had fun with the games and it was just a beautiful hotel, and it's a real asset to our community, and it's great to see that they're going to do well there. I'm very positive of that. On the 19th, I attended the Planning and Priorities meeting here at City Hall for some community stuff. On October the 17th, I attended the Dauphin Kings hockey game versus Wayway, and we won that game as well. Good to see sellout crowds at the hockey games. And October 20th, I attended a Speak Up Parkland Toastmasters meeting via Zoom. It's a new format for, this year, so we still cannot get into Parkland or to the college to do it live. So we set up a Zoom, and it's working so far. October 21st, I had a long awaited Habitat for Humanity board meeting. At this board meeting, we had our Steve Cron from Winnipeg, on the meeting, and some major stuff came out of that meeting. We're getting close to budget on our build, so the long-awaited announcement shouldn't be too far down from going on a go-forward basis. I wasn't able to attend the grand opening of the hub, so I just want to congratulate them on their opening. And this weekend is Halloween, so I just want to make sure that everybody has a happy and a safe Halloween. That's my report.
Thank you. On October 13th, attended the City Council meeting. October 14th, I too attended the grand opening of the Best Western Plus. I feel it's a really well-designed facility with provisions for long-term stays. They have kitchenettes for some of the rooms, and also they have for handicap and wheelchair accessibility in the designated hotel rooms. And that means that the bathrooms and closets and microwave and shelving are all at levels for those who are in wheelchairs. And I thought it was a very great tour. October 19th, Planning and Priority meeting. On October 20th, 21st, and 22nd, I attended the virtual conference of Sustainable Communities. I was really zoomed out by the end of the day. They didn't allow for lunch breaks or coffee breaks and they always had slides on the go. So anyway, there was a variety of topics from inclusive recovery for resilient communities, net zero, and deep energy refits. I think that some of these can really apply to some things we have in our community, especially in our low income housing, asset management, and sustainable development goals, and building back green, and to climate action planning for equality and transformation, to mention a few. It was a very detailed and I've got a lot of notes to share, and there's some things that I would like to bring forward later. October 21st, I just did a quick, because I was on this virtual conference, so Healthy Together Now, and had some updates on Under One Roof. They're proceeding with a lot of innovative things for our community. On the 24th too, I had attended the History of Indian Act and Treaties. That was, it was an all-day workshop with Wayne Hull. There was other municipal leaders. Very good introduction to a lot of the things that sometimes we don't understand, and especially with what happened with the Indian Act as well. I think it was an eye-opener for some individuals. There's a lot I know because I've traveled in a lot of these northern communities. And I want to end my report with wishing everybody a safe Halloween night.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Not a whole heck of a lot here, but just a couple things. On October the 13th, I attended the regular council meeting here at City Hall. On October the 19th, planning and priorities meeting here at City Hall as well. Obviously been extremely busy from the Dauphin Kings side, because we all know about the social distancing and COVID-19 and all that sort of stuff going on in the arena right now. Just want to take the opportunity to continue to thank people to adhering to those, I guess you could say, guidelines at our games. It's been great to have sellout crowds for the last, we'd say 3 times in a row. I don't know if that's ever been done in Dauphin Kings history at this point, but yeah, it's pretty, I guess you could say, humbling to being one of the, well, junior A-wise, one of the only leagues in a regular season right now. They've started up in Saskatchewan and a few other provinces, but going pretty strong, and players are doing well here in Dauphin. And it's been said a few times by fellow councillors, obviously Halloween going on this weekend on Saturday. I know tons of kids in Dauphin tune into our council meetings. So kids, obviously practice social distancing when you can. When you're crossing the street, look both ways and all that sort of stuff. Be safe and enjoy the Halloween trick-or-treating on Saturday night. That ends my report.
Thank you. I attended several meetings, the P&P meeting, Community Foundation meeting, the AGM for FCM, which is the Federal Canadian Municipalities Association. I also attended the open houses that have been mentioned, the Best Western Plus Hotel and the Hub. I also attended the virtual conference on sustainable development last week, and because it's virtual, it's forcing me to learn more about technology in order to participate in new ways. There is lots of trial and error, but the result has certainly been worthwhile. So some of the sessions I attended focused on electric vehicle charging stations, drainage plans, and how COVID is changing our views on how we see our community. And all of these apply to Dauphin, so it was worthwhile participating. Around the community, we mentioned about the Fireman's Ball being different this year. It's a delivery of meal service. So that date is Saturday, November the 7th, and you need to drop into the fire hall in order to reserve your tickets. And you can also, as Councillor or Deputy Mayor Riel mentioned, you can buy support tickets as well. And that will feed people at Under One Roof. The AGM for the Watson Arts Centre is tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, and your presence at that meeting will help strengthen the arts community in our city. Also, the Rotary Book Club will be having their fall book sale next week, which is November 5th to 7th. That's only Thursday to Saturday, so it's a bit shorter in length. And also new this year is the location, which is 8th Avenue Hall on Whitmore Street. There is already a drop-off place there, so they're getting you used to going shopping there by getting you used to dropping off your books there first. So drop them off and then come back and shop. All COVID protocols will be followed at the sale. And happy Halloween, everyone. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, all councillors. October 14th, I attended the Best Western Plus grand opening, and it's well designed and just a great asset addition to our community. October 19th, planning and priorities. 20th, I think the deputy mayor and myself met with Dan Mazer on he reached out to request if there's any issues, and we had a good discussion. It's good on his part that he's reaching out instead of us knocking on the door all the time. The Sustainable Community Conference, I attended a few sessions. Few that it was, I think, a very valuable conference, especially for people in communities that have a sustainable objective. 22nd City, Pine Creek and Ebb and Flow land meeting on the 24th. We had the regional meeting on improving Indigenous relations with Wade Houle. Very well done by Wade, and certainly would go a long way to improving relations with our Indigenous and Métis population in our region. Yeah, and it been mentioned November 7th, the firefighters ball, and the under one roof. I have my tickets for both or already, so they're going fast. So get yours early, and yeah, you very rarely get home delivery, so for free. So this is a great way, and it's affecting the firefighters association's funding this year. So they're restoring a fire truck, I think. So it's going to be a 1 year longer. And Halloween, I figured out how I'm going to distribute. I'm going to use my barbecue logs and distribute the candy that way.
It's not long enough.
Sure it is.
Nope.
Yeah. It has to be long enough. I'll wear a mask and everything else. And the coffee crisp bars will be the last thing that will be given out. So stay safe and it's going to be warm weather. It's going to be on a Saturday, so I think we'll see a lot of,
Yes.
oh God.
Second full moon this month. No, it's the second full moon we have.
There's a name for that. Blue moon? Oh. So great, we got a lot of things going on.
It's gonna be warm.
And if counselors want to come by for a treat, you'll get
Not a coffee crisp.
not a coffee crisp. So moved by Councillor Juba, second by Deputy Mayor Rial. Be it resolved that council be recessed at 6:25.